Hi there, happy Sunday, happy weekend. I'm waiting for my share button to come up so I can just share this out real quick. Okay. Oops, I'm not knowing how to spell today, which is not helping. There we go. Okay. So I'm just popping on real quick. Hey everybody, because in one of the Facebook groups I belong to a lot of Facebook groups. I probably have to look at them all and be like, wow, do I really need to be in this many? But I love chatting. So what can I say? So I belong to a lot of spiritual Facebook groups here. So like mediumship, psychic stuff, empath stuff, tarot cards, angel cards, like all the different things. And in one of the groups today, somebody posted a really interesting question that said, if somebody commits suicide, what then happens to their soul? That was the post today. Why is it? There was no traffic on this road for like 20 minutes. Now that I'm start talking, here they come. It's like the kids when you get on the phone. Okay, so I thought that was a really cool question, and not cool in the way like it's very sad, emotional, very deeply. It's a tragic situation. And so, but it's an interesting question because I know there are people that wonder, like, depending on your cause of death, is there something that happens, something different that goes on once your soul transitions? So I thought that was a really interesting question. And here was my answer. Now, this is my answer. There are, I'm sure, religious people, I'm sure there's psychic mediums, other people that think differently, and that's totally fine. Y'all know, and I'll say it every video, that this is simply my experience, my opinions, my thoughts, what feels true to me. You can take whatever you want with it, and you can, if it resonates, cool. If it doesn't, cool. And there will be, I'm sure, any other websites and teachers that will say differently. Here's my thoughts on this, is that what happens when someone commits suicide and their soul transitions is like any other soul that had any other manner of death. It's all the same, no matter what. It was natural causes, illness, accidental, whatever. Every soul goes through the same process where they are transitioning to the spirit world. In my opinion, they go through some sort of a life review process. So that means it's a lot of self-reflection. It's almost like if they were to watch their life on a movie screen. So they get to sort of have a period where they're really getting accustomed to being in the spiritual world again. So because you're not unfamiliar with it, you're kind of going back where you started, but there's a period where they need to kind of get reacquainted and make that transition. So going through a life review, because we're all here to learn something, we're all here to go through something. Our souls asked for a certain journey and asked for certain lessons, including the end of our lives. Like, this is all part of the divine plan that's really difficult for us to understand as humans, because it pulls at your heartstrings. It's painful. We fear loss. Okay, we fear it. It's painful. It hurts, and we have a hard time processing it and making sense of it. So that person, that soul, if they committed suicide, is not going to be restless. They're not going to be sad. They're not going to be living with deep regret. They're not going to be living with resentment. They're not going to be living with depression. They're not going to be at all they're not going to go into a purgatory and just sit in nothingness. They're not going to go to hell or burn for, the sin of, how their manner of death. There's none of that. They're not going to go through that. They go through the same thing. So some a life review where they're kind of seeing their own life on a movie screen. But here's the thing that I feel is true, and this is my own view about life review, is that not only are you watching your life, kind of like watching it as an observer, but you can also, it shows you the effect you had in the world, the effect you had on other people, the interactions you had with other people, things we said and did, kind of like that karmic relationship. Here's how you showed up in the world, and here's how you made other people feel. Here's how this affected this and that affected that. You get to see all the cause and effect. right? So you go through that, and then, you're transitioning to the spirit world. And in the spirit world, where you came from, it's only one thing. It's only love. Love, joy, you can call it joy too, but unconditional 24/7 365 love. No sense of time, no sense of place, no sense of gender, no sense of religion. There are no labels. There's no labels. And so there's no judgment. They're not going to look upon you and go, why weren't you there for me? Or I'm still upset about, my life was not going well and upset. They don't take any of that with them. They take none of that. They only know that they are in a place where they've got the wisdom. They've got universal wisdom now. So they know the divine plan. They're like, oh yeah, I remember my soul wanted that human journey. I wanted that human experience. So now I have to reflect and say, how did that human experience go for me? Did I reach the goal that I wanted? Did I complete that part of my journey? Did I gain the lessons that I needed to learn? How did I show up and affect other people? What's the karma that I'm taking with me that I might bring into my next life if I choose to come back? What's happening with all of that? And of course, they're welcomed by loved ones. They're welcomed by loved ones on the other side. Could be past life relationships, could be family, friends, ancestors, whoever. They're welcomed by the other side. And then they get to then really just be in that space. They're now a guide, a spirit guide, and they are there to guide you and connect with you. They're not going to forget you. Okay, if you're someone who is close to, they're not going to forget you, and they can hear you. They can listen to you. They can come near you physically. They can hear you, what your thoughts are, what you're saying. You talk to them. Some psychic mediums will say, oh, you have to wait 28 days in order to contact someone on the other side because they're going through their process. I say, no, you can contact them right away if they're ready. Okay, if they're ready to do so, and if they're receptive and you're receptive, then you can. I've seen that happen. I have felt that happen. There's no sense of time in the spirit world, so we can't say it's 28 days. We're labeling it with our own stuff. That they can, just like God, source, they can do anything. Like they can be, and they're limitless, and in a total other dimension, in another plane. For all we know, it's like parallel universes, like the Spider-Verse or like Outlander, like these parallel universes. So, just know that, take comfort in that if you were worried about that. Because I know the original poster was really worried about that. Like, what happens to the soul? Is it going to be wandering around restless or lost or punished because of the way his or her life ended? And the truth that no, take comfort that no, that's not how it is. They are welcomed right back, and they completed their journey here, and they're going to review it. They're going to review it, and they're going to decide then what is their next path that makes sense, but they're still going to be there and be able to contact you, and they're going to contact you with love. So if you're listening, if you're trying to listen or feel your loved one in spirit, even if it's someone who committed suicide, who is obviously going through a lot in their earthly life and really upset or really sad or really feeling lost or overwhelmed, you probably won't connect with them and have them feel that way. They won't feel that way. They may not sound that way to you. So remember that your loved ones in spirit will probably not sound like they did in life because they have the universal wisdom. They have the universal love. They will speak to you from that place. Can they remember things that you shared? Yes. Can they remember things that you've said and reflect that back at you to confirm that you're talking to them? Sure. They can tell you a phrase that you used to say, a nickname that you used to have, places that you went, or if you have, something of theirs, a possession of theirs, and they know you have it, like a wedding ring or a piece of clothing or something, they'll bring it up. They will let you know that they're there, and this is the proof. But they might not sound like themselves because they know, they're not in that space anymore. They're not in the space they were when they were on Earth. They're not in that same mental, emotional space, and they're no longer that being. That was like a character in a play, right? Once you leave stage, that's it. You're not that character anymore. You are leaving that behind, and you're just your original self. Okay, so that's the same thing. So I just wanted to share that with you because I know that can be an emotional topic. It can be a painful thought, and some people can really not have peace because they're really afraid that their loved ones are in spirit and in pain and lost and don't have a connection, or that they won't be able to connect with them. And that's not the case. So please, I hope you can take comfort in this. And if you know anyone who would be able to take comfort in this or need to hear this today, please share this video with them. By the way, if you do, please comment that you shared so that I can put you in my weekly drawing for a free email reading from me. But you know, this can be really important, and part of what I do and what other psychic mediums do is to help people have some clarity, help them have some peace of mind and some comfort. So, you know, that's the most rewarding and fulfilling thing for me, to help give that to somebody. But I know there are a lot of different thoughts out there, and there's a shit ton of information out there with all differing opinions. And so I hope this helps someone today. Or if this resonates, what I'm saying resonates with you, then, you know, take it for what it is. And if it doesn't, you can find all sorts of other information and theories on Google or books or something. So I love you all. And so I hope you're having an amazing end to your week or weekend, having an amazing Sunday. And those of you who want to connect with some really cool people in my group, Empowered Empath Women, we're learning all sorts of things. This coming week, we're going to talk about spirit guides, and we're doing our book club. We're talking about our book club tonight. We're starting our new book this coming week, which is Super Attractor by Gabby Bernstein. So if you want to come and join the conversation and just connect with women who are really, you know, trying to work on their own consciousness and their own journey in this lifetime, come on over. It's super fun. And that's it. Oh, and if you want to know more about your own mediumship gifts, I am starting a program in July called Own Your Psychic Gifts. It's 10 weeks, and you get to learn from sort of beginning to end, soup to nuts, how to get past your own mental blocks, how to connect with your own energy, your chakras, how to connect with your spirit guides, past life meditations, things like that, how to connect with other side loved ones. Yes, you can do it. Don't tell me you can't do it. You can do it. And I will walk you through it, and I will make you practice. My people, Glenda, people on here, you know, I'm going to show you pictures and do exercise, and we do this. Take it very seriously. Learn to do cards, learn to do pendulums and things like that. Come on in, because comment below, Own Your Psychic Gifts, or go to jenrapinion.com/own your psychic gifts and save your spot, because we start July 13th. July 13th we start, and you'll have a ton of support, and it's a safe space where you can practice. I'm going to say, Dana says, can you comment on some sentiment of what a friend of mine believes? She says that if someone takes their own life, they will need to complete the life lesson again. My answer to that is we have no way of knowing that. So if they commit suicide or take their own life, that is up to the agreement that they have with Source as to whether or not they need to repeat the lesson. That may have been their lesson. We don't know, and we won't know. Only that spirit, that soul will know. If they created some sort of other karmic tie or some sort of other karmic issue through that manner of death, then that's for them and the creator to decide. We have no way of knowing. And I would not say that there's a hard and fast rule about anything when it comes to spirit. So no, there's no way of knowing that for sure. But it's possible, you know? So awesome. Thanks. You're welcome. You're welcome. And so, all right. So I love you guys, and you're amazing, and come and hang out with me. I'll be back again probably tomorrow doing more lives. We got some things to talk about this week. So I'm just going to randomly start talking. That's what I do. All right. I love you guys. Empowered Empath Women. Want all the information about what's going on in my world, jenrapinion.com. Want a private reading, soulalignedreadings.com. And that's about it. All right. Have a good night. Take care. Love you all.